Arise, arise, riders of Théoden, fell deeds awake, fire and slaughter, spear shall be shaken, shield be splintered, a sword day, a red day, ere the sun rises. Right now, right to Gondor! Wes Harmin Freond, and welcome to yet another video. My dear friends, please look at the screen and in your face, hobbits! My dear friends, Bernard Hill, King Théoden from Peter Jackson's trilogy, was asked about the Rings of Power, and so far he is the only one who's got backbone. Because whereas the Hobbits and Gollum were all for, well, I wish them all the best and I've seen it and I liked the way they were jumping from here to there and I love to explore Middle-earth like it was for the first time and yada yada yada. We all know that they might have meant it seriously, they might have not meant it seriously because they want to keep their position in Hollywood, so they don't want to crap on the actual crap, the Rings of Power. But Bernard Hill here has made my day, has made me happy, has brought some cheer into my heart, and says that, well, he's not interested in watching it. Now, this article comes from Variety.com, and we shall delve into it. But first, my dear friends, for those of you who are here for the first time, welcome to European Laura channel of a humble European fella who likes to rant about fantasy on the internet, a man who has devoted his entire personal and academic life to the finer things, to the greats of the fantasy genre of the 20th century, as well as Old English literature and language, and that is why this channel is from a huge part devoted to defending these great works of art from, well, vile creatures such as those at Prime Video. So feel free to check out my other videos, such as the individual reviews of the Rings of Power, and so on and so forth. And very soon, within a couple of days, I shall upload my reviews of the first 2 episodes of the Willow sequel over at Disney+. And we know that it is going to be a disaster as much as the Rings of Power was. And the Rings of Power specifically, because it was claiming that it is an adaptation of the appendices to The Lord of the Rings, but it has got nothing to do with anything that Professor Tolkien wrote. They have constructed their own stories, and badly written, poorly made, well, poorly constructed, and people all over the world, fans of good literature and films, have criticized this, and of course we are being called isophobes for it, but we all know that. Now let us dive in and read what Bernard Hill said about the Rings of Power. Lord of the Rings actor Bernard Hill slams Rings of Power as money-making venture, not interested in watching it. Bernard Hill, the actor best known to the Lord of the Rings fans around the world as King Théoden, hit out at Amazon's The Lord of the Rings of Prime, in a recent interview with Metro. The Rings of Prime aired its 8-episode first season on Amazon Prime Video this fall. When asked if he watched the show, Hill snapped back, "No, not interested." Dun, 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 dun. It's a money-making venture, and I'm not interested in watching that or being in it, Hale said. Good luck to them and all that stuff, but it's not like the real thing. Oh, snap! Mic drop! Oh, Bernard Hill, I love you, man. Hill was then asked if the Lord of the Rings franchise should have ended after Peter Jackson wrapped it, and now just focus on the word franchise. The crippled and the twisted world of today wants to make everything into a franchise. They can't let Professor's Legendarium be. They can't let Professor's lore be. They can't let just the books, the literature be. And maybe just, the adaptations that were already made in the past. No, everything needs to be made into MCU, bloody Disney Star Wars diarrhea. But no, you shall not succeed with The Lord of the Rings this way, my nitwits. Alright, so once again, Hill was then asked if the Lord of the Rings franchise should have ended after Peter Jackson wrapped his original trilogy with the return of the king, to which the actor responded, completely, yes! I think they were pushing it when they made The Hobbit, and I agree. The Hobbit's a tiny book, Hill said. They did it well. They did it really, really well. They expanded it, but I think you can only stretch a piece of elastic so far. I think they managed it in The Hobbit because there were some really good things in The Hobbit, without a doubt. Hill will never know what's in The Rings of Power, and he refuses to watch it. The showrunners of the series have mapped out a 5-season plan for The Rings of Prime, which stands as the most expensive television show ever made, with a first season budget of $400 million. In all 5 seasons of the show get made, it'll cost Amazon north of $1 billion. Oh, they meant north. Sorry. Critics were largely favorable to The Rings of Prime, with Variety calling the series sweeping and gutsy. While it's unclear if Hill's Lord of the Rings co-stars Elijah Wood, Billy Boyd, Sean Astin, and Dominic Monaghan watch Rings of Prime, the 4 main Hobbits actors from Jackson's original trilogy did support the series against East online trolls who were outraged over their inclusive casting in The Rings of Power. The Rings of Prime. No, we were outraged because the show is shit. It is as simple as that. Amid East backlash, the 4 actors posed for photos wearing shirts that featured the ears of Middle-earth creatures in various skin tones. You're all welcome, Wood wrote on Twitter. All 8 episodes of The Rings of Prime Season 1 are now streaming on Prime Video. Oh, my dear friends. What do you think about it? I think that you will share my enthusiasm, that you will share my happiness about what Bernard Hill here said. Because, of course, I absolutely 100%, a million percent agree with him. And I have been saying that for months already. I had been saying it months before the show was released, that please, there is no need to milk that story anymore. And that was their major mistake. They thought they could touch the sacred word of Professor Tolkien and made it into a bloody MCU. Well, that was a mistake. You failed. You will not admit it, Prime Video, but it is the truth. And what's left to do now? Well, you have to what? Finish your 5 seasons, one being worse than the previous one? Well, I think this is going to be the outcome. And I will be covering the future episodes and the future seasons, even though I refuse to make videos about the making of or the behind the scenes, because why would I do this? We know it's shit. And I do refuse to talk about the very same episodes I have already talked about in the past, just for the couple of more views. Alright, let me know in the comments down below what you think, and that will be all. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm out of here.